So we're going down to La Maceta, this quite popular spot for swimming, and let's just see what's going on. Was a lot of fun. So let's have a look at the Black Beach. It's already a fantastic road back here. So let me turn this around here. Bear with me. So found some parking, and yeah, this was recommended by Thomas, who has been living here for a while. But I got to a point here where I felt that wouldn't be a good idea to do with the BMW, since that's more like a sports car. Definitely beautiful light out here. It's super windy today, so. But yeah, I thought I'd talk a little bit about Solitude, because this is the 100th vlog, and even though I'm always tough on myself, that's something, some sort of accomplishment, I guess, to do 100 of those. Yeah. And then Solitude here is just like, it's nothing going on here, really. And it's kind of funny, when I did the interviews with Matthias and Eileen, and I was staying with them, they were saying, that that's what hits people sometimes here on the island, the solitude, like to be so alone. But then I don't mind being alone, really, that much. I kind of like it. I think sometimes it's really helpful to be alone also. Sometimes we just have to have time for ourselves. Nobody seems to be here right now. So windy. But look at the surrounding, huh? There's nothing. So one fun fact is there's nothing you're allowed to do here, pretty much. Another amazing experience here on the island. I'm at Verodal, and as so often I'm the only one here. The feeling of freedom that you have on this island very often is hard to describe for me, because the power of being alone. Because I think ultimately, the only thing we can really be sure of is the relationship to ourselves. I mean, everything else somebody can easily take away from you, At any time, our relationship can end, or we can lose our job, lose the money, even lose our health, even losing that body. But the power of being alone is that, when you're alone and you have this relationship to yourself, nobody can take this away from you. Ultimately, I think it's the only safety that we have, because nothing else is safe. Everything else can be taken like this. But when you have this relationship to yourself, I mean, who's going to take this away from you? Only you can take this away from you. And that's very powerful. Because then you're free. This vlog is about freedom. Freedom is not to depend on anybody else. Freedom is to love the innermost part of you. Because the innermost part of ourselves cannot be tainted. It can't be even attacked in any way. It will always be free. And loving and accepting that part of you is what freedom is. Because then, you don't depend on your spouse, you don't depend on your job, you don't depend on money, you don't depend on anything. Then you're free, because you know that this relationship that you have with yourself will never change, that always will be the same, whatever happens on the outside. That love and appreciation that you feel for yourself or for your child, since that's the only self that really exists, at least that's how I see it, that nobody can take away from you. No one can. And that's true freedom, that's actually, I think, what we all look for. That's why we do all that other crazy stuff, to get to this point, to feel we're free, we're independent. And to feel that love for ourselves. All of this is really, really, really important. But it's places like these here that really show you freedom. Because where can you go nowadays just to be by yourself, to be in nature, to be I think that's why I would call it freedom. Where you don't depend on anybody anymore, you don't depend on acceptance by anybody else. And you fully accept yourself, and you fully love yourself, and that love and acceptance gives you the right, just to be yourself. But again, it's not found in places like this, it's just found inside of yourself, and then when you get to places like that, it kind of reflects that inner freedom that you feel. Because even this place can't change your inner barriers, your inner chains, if you haven't broken them before. So that's why it's so important to work on the inner connection, because then you'll see this in the world around you, and you deeply appreciate it. Because ultimately, what is there to achieve, What is there to achieve really besides freedom? there's not much else to achieve than that, you know, I mean, because none of it will work, none of this will make us happy, and true freedom is to have this connection to self. And if there's a way that we can achieve that, if there's a way to connect people to their inner self, that's, as I mentioned before, the only way how I see that things shift in the world, because we will not be able to just vote for a different political party. I mean, these people are not connected to themselves either. I mean, they might have the best of intentions, but are they really connected to themselves? Do they have a deep inner connection? And if they don't, then what difference does it make? Then we can just stick with what we have, because they will turn into the same people that we had before. Since power always changes people. So again, the idea is that you see yourself as a young child. Pick an age, like 3, 4, 5. That's a good starting point. And just ask your inner child what it wants. I mean, how does it feel? What would it like to do? And when you have that connection and then build up a relationship with your inner child, you'll have much more joy, much more happiness in your life. Since your child knows what really makes you happy. Nobody else knows, you know. Definitely not your adult. Your adult just thinks it knows. But if we're all honest, what has worked so far? Nothing has worked, really. All we had was different attempts that all failed. So this is my take on it. But so far so good, you know. I mean, I feel since I connected to my inner child, I have great experiences of freedom. This being one of them here, being alone on this beautiful beach.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong?
So that's it, going back. But I just spent 2 hours here alone on the beach. Nobody else was here, so great experience, for sure. And where else do you have something like that, you know? 2 hours on the beach by yourself. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to experience that. And it's definitely one of the great experiences here that I had so far on the island. More to come, hopefully. But as I said, you know, I think it really has to do with the internal, and then it just gets confirmed somehow in the external, because I didn't used to have these experiences. So again, you know what I was saying before, the connection to the inner child is so important and so worth it. So thank you so much. That's it for today. See you guys tomorrow. Ow! Stones. Bye for now.
And I saw you